someone for the first time, the conversation often goes, what do you do? And if they said to you that they were an opera singer, well, you'd expect them to be able to sing. Or if they said to you they were an Olympic athlete, well, you'd expect them to be good at their chosen sport. It's not unreasonable for us to expect that when someone says they can do something, to prove they can do it. So it's not unreasonable when the Bible says that Jesus is God's chosen king for us to look for proof that he is. And that's what I'm going to show you. In the next few videos, we're going to be looking at who Jesus is. So his identity by what he could do. And it's important we get the identity of Jesus right. Otherwise, we'll respond to him in the wrong way. And in the last video, we heard in the book of Mark, in the Bible, chapter 1, verse 1, that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God. Messiah means God's chosen king. And in this video, we'll see how Jesus proves he's God's chosen king by showing that he had power over creation. By showing that he could do things only God could do. And we're now going to look at an event that took place, that's recorded in the eyewitness account for us in Mark chapter 4 from verse 37. It's an account with Jesus with his disciples in a boat. Mark writes, "A furious squall came up and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. And the disciples woke him and said to him, 'Teacher, don't you care if we drown?'" Put yourselves in the disciples' situation. You're in the boat there and a storm comes and waves are breaking into it. And it's only a small boat, so it's going to sink at any moment. And you're fearing for your lives because you might drown any second. But Jesus, well, he's asleep at the stern. Sleeping in a storm. So the disciples wake Jesus up and they say, "Don't you care if we drown?" And the way Jesus responds is astonishing. Verse 39. "He got up, rebuked the wind and said to the waves, 'Quiet, be still.' Then the wind died down and it was completely calm." Jesus spoke a few words to the unstoppable forces of nature, and instantly the wind calms down and the waves are no more. A miracle had taken place, a supernatural event in history that cannot be explained by modern science or human reasoning, because it's impossible for man. Now, we love to talk about the weather, don't we? Because it's so unpredictable in Britain and it determines and controls what we're able to do, especially in the summer. Now picture the situation, you've planned an event and there's lots of outdoor tables and chairs and decorations and food, and then it starts to rain. Or you're cycling home from work, from the office, and you get caught in a storm and get drenched. Wouldn't it be brilliant in those moments you could click your fingers and the rain would stop? Or you could somehow just push the rain to one side so you wouldn't get drenched on your bike. It'd be great, wouldn't it? But it's impossible for man because we're human and we have limitations. There are certain things we just can't do. But Jesus did what was impossible for man. He displayed power over the creation and the forces of nature. And that's why the disciples respond in the way they do. Verse 41. They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." They're still terrified, not at the storm or the fear of drowning, but this time the person Jesus, who's shown his power over the forces of nature and creation by calming it with just a few words. Well, who is Jesus? A person whose power over creation shown here shows that he's God's chosen king. So who do you think Jesus is? Maybe you don't believe any of this because you simply don't believe in miracles, because they can't be explained by science or human reason. Well, can I encourage you not to dismiss this? Just think about it for a moment. If there is a creator God out there, and he wanted to, in a moment in history, just disrupt the laws of science for a moment to reveal himself in the person of Jesus, why is that so unreasonable? Maybe you believe that Jesus was a historical figure. He really did walk this earth over 2,000 years ago, but he was no more than human. Well, how then do you explain the events recorded in this eyewitness account? No ordinary human can calm a storm with mere words, can they? Jesus is God's chosen king, and he proves it by calming a storm with words.